Have you ever wondered why hardware synthesizers often look and feel more consistent, well-designed and put together than modern software? At first you might say, well, it must be money, research and time. Yes, and every control knob switch literally costs money to manufacture. Engineers can just add them at different controls on a creative whim. They are forced into consistency. And that's what we are diving into today, the sacred science of consistency in UI design. Let's start with the basics. There's a famous study in psychology that led to consistency basics. In 1923, Gestalt researcher Max Wertheimer showed people rows of dots. Just rows of dots. But when some dots were closer together or had different color, our brain instantly grouped them. And that's how powerful visual consistency is. We see order even in chaos. Psychologists tell us that consistency is what builds trust. We humans are wired to look for patterns. If we see them, we relax. So in interfaces, consistency is when elements that serve same purpose look the same. Simple, yes. Easy? Well, let's find out. A lot of our clients, audio software developers, kind of see themselves as users too. And yeah, in some ways that's true. That's why they often guess right and manage to put together pretty decent layouts. They nail the behavioral stuff, how buttons react, and the logical stuff, where things are placed. But the visual side, that's a whole different universe of skills and knowledge. And that's our focus today, the visual part. To break the rule, you need to master it first. Think about Monarch by Native Instruments. You open it and feel one person designed this. One hand, one style, clean, thoughtful. That's visual unity. Or look at iZotope FX EQ. Restrained colors, one clear style, logical spacing, icons all in the same style. Your brain says professional, trustworthy, expensive, even if the plugin itself is simple. Designers do this with coffee, Red Bull, and rhythm. Spacing between knobs and sliders that matches, with proportions, buttons and icons that look like they belong together, with typography, no random font buffet, just one or two carefully chosen. And when it works, it's like music. Everything in harmony. But here's the catch. A designer can only hold so many layers of consistency in focus at once. Fonts versus spacing, icons versus proportions, colors versus hierarchy. It takes years of practice or cross-training in other arts like graphic design, digital painting, or even marketing. You can't just learn Figma in a week or two and expect mastery. Every quarter, about 40 plugins launch. Each one faces the same design challenges. Once a client came to me with this massive, gorgeous mood board full of amazing references from different styles, lots of UIs that they liked. Now you might think the client is the one to blame here because such a mix make it hard for a designer to create consistency. But I'll defend the client. They actually spent time gathering products they genuinely liked and suggesting the best direction out of all that. That's the designer's job, even if the references conflict. Don't you agree? But there's another problem sneaks in. It's a very human, very common psychological effect. Wanting to get the best for the lowest cost. So when a client shows up with a stunning mood board, what they don't realize is that many of those references were designed by top-level professionals, projects that took huge amount of time and resources. The client doesn't know and doesn't see that, and sometimes the designer underestimates it too. Look at these examples. They show us how important consistency is, even though it's only one of the design principles that help build great UI. Without it, chaos creeps in. Just look at Adobe products early 2000s. Menus built by different teams, all with different looks and behaviors. New users got lost while switching between products. Adobe spent years and probably tons of money redesigning everything for consistency. Take Baby Audio. The whole line has this vintage neomorphism look, or Excite Audio's Bloom collection, instantly recognizable. That's not just product consistency, that's brand level consistency, the next level of professionalism. And yes, it can be achieved by one designer's hands, where a designer plays two roles, both an art director and a performer. A great example comes from 1950s and 60s when Braun, under Dieter Rams, created an entire line of products, record players, radios, and even shavers that all looked as if they'd been done by a single hand. The visual consistency gave the brand instant recognition, and decades later, Steve Jobs pointed directly to Braun's consistency as one of the Apple's key inspirations. Here's a cosmic irony. Making something look simple and harmonious is the hardest thing of all. It takes time, experience, and yes, sometimes the whole team. If you ever find yourself working on your UI alone, without professional support or second pair of eyes, there's still something you can do to make it better. Keep your colors, fonts, spacing, sizes, and forms under one creative control. Even that one step will instantly make your plugin feel more professional and attractive. So, the hardware engineers have it right. Limitations and teamwork force them into consistency and better design. So until the next time.